30 or 40 years ago, income was the most important value for people to achieve. But now you see that work for many people also is an important life domain in which people want to achieve important ambitions, goals and values.
The value of work is an important characteristic of a flourishing working life, well-being at work, and sustainable employability. The capability approach appears to be a suitable framework for analyzing work situations and indicating interventions. Jacques van der Klink is a full professor of mental health at work and sustainable employability at Tilburg University in the Netherlands. His research focus is on mental health at work and on sustainable employability and the application of the capability model in this field.
In my opinion, psychology as well as healthcare often has a focus on the individual, in the sense that the individual is held responsible for his or her health and also for his or her conduct or coping with situations. And I think that situations are as important as individual characteristics in the explanation, but also in interventions, how to enable people to achieve a more flourishing working life. I think in the change of the paradigm, two aspects are central. The aspect of normativity and the aspect of contextuality. And with normativity, I mean that we, as professionals, as scientists, we should not merely want to understand and to explain things, but that we should also have the ambition to change things for the better. So that we really want to not only research for the determinants of a flourishing working life, but also have the ambition to get people, to give people the opportunities to achieve such a flourishing working life. 30 or 40 years ago, income was the most important value for people to achieve. It still is for many people an important value, but now you see that work for many people also means that it is an important life domain in which people want to achieve important ambitions, goals and values. I think valuable work is increasingly important for people because of two developments. At one side, work is developing. At the other side, people are developing and emancipating. And I think work has changed in the last decades in many aspects. The content of work has changed because large parts of society move from industrial to post-industrial societies with all the consequences for work. But also you have the aspects of automatization and computerization, and that also influences the content of work. Besides that, also the arrangements in which people work are changed. 30 or 40 years ago, it was quite normal to enter a company, to stay there for 40 years and to retire at that same company. And now you see that people have contracts of a year, sometimes half a year. Job uncertainty has increased, but also the loyalty between employer and employee. The capability approach entails several things. I think an important aspect is that it is value-driven, that values are very important in the approach. The main question underlying the development of the approach is what is really important for people to achieve in their lives. And there's also this central paradigm in the approach, looking for what is really important for people in their lives. And also the two elements I mentioned before are important in the approach, the normativity and the contextuality. So I think because of that, the approach is very apt to apply, to be a framework for work and health and for enable people to achieve a flourishing working life. Capability is, I think, the most basic answer on the question, what is really important for people in their lives? And Amartya Sen, who is the developer of the capability approach, he is an economist and also a Nobel Prize winner in economy. He defined it as beings or doings people have reason to value. So people should be able to have the identity they want to have, and should be able to do things that add value for themselves and for their environment. In the work capability model, we asked ourselves what is important in people's working life so that this can be sustainable for them. And going back to the starting point of the capability approach of beings and doings people have reason to value, we thought if people can achieve this in work, can be in work the person they want to be, and achieve in work things that are valuable for themselves, but also for their work environment, then you are very close to a flourishing working life and to a sustainable employability, I think.
7 aspects form the basis of the capability set, namely the use of knowledge and skills, the development of knowledge and skills, involvement in important decisions, building and maintaining meaningful contacts at work, setting own goals, having a good income, and finally, contributing to something valuable.
For these 7 work values, it's important to make the translation from a value to a capability. And for that, the 3 sub-questions are important. So a value is a capability if it is A, important for you, B, you are enabled to, by your context, to achieve this value, and C, you are also able to achieve this value. For management and for companies, I think it is important that the model provides an instrument for having a dialogue with your employees. What we see as we go into discussion with managers in organizations, we see that they are hardly aware what their employees, what is valuable for the employees, and they have all kinds of fantasies about that, but they are seldom adequate. So only to go into discussions and into dialogue with your employees, you can find out what is really important for them, and then you can enable them that they can achieve important values for themselves.